Hey everyone, welcome back. So in this video, we're gonna solve a coding question by CodeChef. So without any further ado, let's hop in. One more thing, the questions link will be given in the description box, so don't worry about that. So the question name is PRICECON. So let me read out the question first and then we'll analyze how we can approach it. The chef has n items in his shop numbered 1 through n. For each valid I, the price of ith item is P of I. So there are some n items in a shop and each and every item has some price associated with it. Since chef has very loyal customers, all n items are guaranteed to be sold regardless of the price. That is to say, each and every item will be sold. Okay, so that was pretty obvious. I shouldn't have told that. However, the government introduced a price ceiling K, which means that for each item I such that P of I greater than K, its price should be reduced from P of I to K. So this simply means is government has kept a restriction, this K. So if your price is greater than this K, you have to reduce it down to K. So let me take an example. Let's just say some price of an item is around 150, but K was set to let's say 100. Then we need to sell it for 100 only, and we have to actually incur a loss of 50, right? The difference between them. So that is K. So if your item's price is greater than K, you have to reduce it down to K by incurring a loss. Of course, the loss will be the difference between them. The chef's revenue is sum of all the prices of item he sells. Okay. And the amount of revenue which have losses because of price ceiling. Okay. So we have to actually calculate its loss. That's what it's trying to say. So let me just comprehend the question again. We have some n items. Each and every item has some price associated with them. And we have to actually calculate the loss that the chef occurs. Now, how will the loss occur? Because the government has set a price ceiling for K. For example, chef is restricted that he cannot sell an item for a price greater than K. So if there is a price tag associated with an item which is greater than K, we have to reduce it by incurring this certain loss. Loss will be its difference. Okay, that's pretty obvious. So let's just see the input and output then. The first line of input contains a single integer t denoting the number of test cases. The description of t test case follows. Okay, of course, there will be different test cases given. So we'll first take the t input. That's not much of a big deal here. The first line of each test case contains two space-separated integers n and k. So for each and every test case, we'll be getting n and k. So n will be simply represent how many items are there, and k will be the price ceiling. We can say the bound. The second line contains n space-separated integers p1, p2, pn. Okay. So then we'll be getting all the prices. Yeah, that makes sense. So we'll getting n, k, and all the prices. Now what we have to find? The output is simply print a single line containing one integer, the amount of lost revenue. So we have to simply print the lost revenue. So the logic is pretty simple. We go through each and every price, and whenever we found out that this one of the price is greater than k, we simply add it to a loss variable. So what I'm trying to say is, we'll actually initialize a loss variable to 0, and then we'll go through each and every price, and whenever we find out that this price is greater than this k, we'll simply add the loss, that is the difference between k and the pi, and update this loss variable. So let me take an example, it will be more clear. It's a very simple question, to be honest. Let's just say the prices are something like this: 100, 150, 90, 80, 75, and let's just take one more value, it's 120. And let's just say the government told that k will be 100, right? Yeah, let's just keep it 100. Okay, so how will calculate the loss then? We'll simply go through each and every price and see if it's greater than this k. If it's greater than k, we'll simply update this loss variable. Is 100 greater than 100? No. So loss will be again be 0. Is 150 greater than 100? Yes. So we'll actually incur a loss here. How much loss will be incurred? Simply it will be 150 minus this 100. So the loss variable will be here 50. Then we'll go to this 90. So as is 90 greater than k? No. Then that's not much of an issue. No loss will be occurred here. We'll go to 80. Is 80 greater than 100? No. Then no loss will be occurred here. 75 greater than 100? Again no. So no loss will be occurred here. Then we'll go to 120. Yeah. 120 is greater than k, so again there will be a loss of 20 here. Here there is a loss of 50, and there is a loss of 20. So the loss will be updated here to 70. So you got the point, right? So there are two ways actually to approach this question. Either we can store each and every price to an array and then go through each and every element of the array, and update the loss variable, or while taking the input only we can check that it is greater than k and we'll update the loss variable in the respected manner. I guess you got the idea, right? We are going to simply compare each and every price with the k, and if it is greater than k, we'll simply find out the loss and update our loss variable. So enough talk, let's jump right into the coding. Okay, let's start coding then. You can see the question on the right hand side of the screen. So what the first thing you have to do? You have to, of course, the t, right? There is a test case, how many number of test cases will be there. So I'll take the test case input here. So first we'll take the test case input t, then we'll run a loop t number of times. Why? Because we have to print the loss for each and every test case. Simple enough. Then there will be input of n and k, and will be the number of prices, and k will be simply the ceiling price. I'll take those input also. Really not much I'm doing, I'm simply taking the inputs. Then we need to initialize our loss variable, because before we take the input of the prices, we need to initialize our loss variable, right? Now the time has come that we take the input of our prices. So already discussed, we don't need to store each and every price in an array and then compare it in a variable, because it will just waste the space, because we actually have no need of that array of prices. So what I'll do, we'll actually compare it while taking the input only. So we have to take n inputs, right? So I'll run a loop n number of times. Okay, I'll take a temporary variable naming current price. So this current price will be for the first time in the loop, and will be p1, then p2, p3, so on. Okay, I'll take the input in current price. Okay, then what we'll do, we'll simply compare this current price with k. If it's greater than k, then of course it exceeded it, so the chef will now incur a loss here. So we'll simply update the loss variable. What is the loss? Loss will be simply difference between current price and k. Then I guess that's it. We simply have to print the loss in the end. I went a little bit fast here because I already explained the logic, but let me just comprehend what we did. We actually take the test case input here, then we actually run the loop exactly t number of times, because we have to print loss for each and every test case. Then I took the input of n and k, n being the number of prices and k being the ceiling price. Then before taking the prices input, I actually initialize the loss variable. Why I did that? Because when I take the input, I'll actually compare each and every price with our ceiling price, and if it will be greater than that, we'll simply update our loss variable. That's what I did. Okay, now hoping I wrote everything right, let's submit this code. Okay, so the answer is correct and time is pretty less. So I guess that's it then. And thank you for watching. If you learned something, a like is appreciated.